What's up, guys? Welcome to the Oh Dear podcast.
Whoa!
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Today we have a great episode for you. We talk a little bit about someone trying to steal Christian's identity. Mm-hmm. And what else did we hit, guys? I've already forgot.
We talked about someone stealing money from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
mechanic.
And then John Hinckley.
We talked.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it's a great episode, guys. So stay tuned. You guys have anything to plug coming up?
I've actually have shows in Dallas this weekend.
Beautiful. What are the dates?
This Friday, which is March 29th and March 30th. I think I have 3 shows in Dallas. So come to one of those.
Hell yeah. Find him on Brett Raybold on Instagram and on Twitter, the Raybold Brothers.
Yeah.
I am in, me and Christian are actually co-headlining a show.
Yeah.
Saturday, April 6th
That's
in
gonna be
Baltimore,
awesome.
baby.
Oh, man.
Tickets for that move fast, so get them now on the Raybold Brothers. Eventbrite. Comedy Invades.
New York
NYC.
City, NYC Comedy
Yeah.
invades wherever your town is.
Yeah, baby. And then follow me on Instagram, Nick_Whitmer. I'm actually launching an episode this weekend of my cooking show called
Yes!
Hungry Wit. It's going to be an Instagram TV show. So
Awesome.
you'll see it on my Instagram, and it'll be fun. You should definitely watch it.
Hey, I'm Christian here. Check out all my shows on ChristianDuranComedy.com, all the tour dates. This coming up is going to be April 2nd at Westside Comedy Club. The 6th with co-headlining with Nick Whitmer in Baltimore.
Boom.
And all other available dates, ChristianDuranComedy.com, and go to @ChristianDuran on Twitter to follow me there.
You guys plugged your show twice. I'd like to plug my show a second time, so we have equitable plugging.
It's only fair. It's only fair. So tell us about the show in Dallas, Brett. Yeah, what's up, guys?
Oh, that's the start.
That's it. What up?
Those are the first words that have been spoken on our podcast's first episode.
Yeah,
baby. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, All right, Christian, you seem very nervous right now. I gotta be
No, I'm
honest.
okay.
No,
You
it's,
sure?
it's okay
Yeah.
to be nervous.
You seem like clammy, like you're like I
No.
don't want to. It's like Eminem on 8 Mile. He's wearing the hoodie too. He's
My
like,
palms are sweaty.
yeah. He's
It's
like,
your-
don't blow this, Christian.
Yeah.
this is so important.
We're your friends, man. It's okay to
No.
like.
You can relax and just chill in front of us. It's totally fine. We're not judging you.
But it's also okay because we're your friends. So if you are nervous, tell us because we're gonna be cool about it.
No, I'm really not.
It's
Really?
really important to
Yeah.
be like open with your friends, so we all.
No,
No, I've
but
been in here before.
well, because when I walked by the bathroom, this is like 10 minutes before we started. Christian was in it, and I heard heaving or something. was that?
That was my mom's spaghetti going down the drain.
I heard him like rehearsing under his breath a
Yeah.
little bit, like he was preparing stuff to say, and I was like, "Dude, it's just a podcast.
I was
Don't you know that you're not supposed to prepare for podcasts?"
I was rehearsing the to start off, and I fucked it up.
Damn it, dude. Next one.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. So we're gonna talk about the oh dear moment. So Brett had an interesting day at jury duty, right?
Oh, we're just getting straight into it.
Going straight
Yeah.
into it, baby.
Well, the reason we named it Oh Dear is because Christian frequently will say
Oh dear.
when
and
one
it's
of us says something
terrible.
kind of egregiously offensive.
Yeah.
And it's when he says that is when you feel so bad. Because there's no worse feeling than saying an offensive joke that sucks.
Yeah.
It's also the moment when you know your righteous anger just became not righteous in any way.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
now I'm wrong. Great.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, we should probably introduce ourselves because this is the first time we've ever been on air
Recorded
here together
anytime.
for this podcast.
Yes.
That's true.
So my name is Christian Duran. I'm a stand-up comedian here in New York City.
All right, icebreaker. One interesting thing about you. Thanks, R.A.
I used to know how to juggle. Ooh, tell me more.
2 truths and a lie.
My name is Brett Raybold, and I'm a stand-up comedian.
That's a lie. I've never seen him do stand-up.
I never.
Have you?
No.
Dude, he's been telling me he does stand-up for like 6 years. I've never seen him do it.
He takes pictures, but I think he goes to shows and waits till the end.
Wait,
Goes on
Yeah,
stage.
Yo,
Dude,
this
I saw him one
dynamic-
time at a Guitar Center holding a microphone and taking a selfie. And I was like, that poor guy had to unbox that mic so you could take a picture of it.
By the way, I love posed shots when someone poses with a microphone. But like not like they just are smiling with it. No, I've never like held a mic like that and smiled on stage.
Yeah. I always like when you can see a photo of a comic on Facebook holding the microphone and you can just tell they're not funny by how they're standing. Remember that picture I sent to the group chat of that guy leaning on the microphone? I'm like, this guy sucks. You can tell by how he's standing that he's not funny.
By the way, our dynamic is going to be a constant shifting of the power of 2 and then 1. It happened with Christian, and then it happened to me. And when it happened to me, I was like, wait, I don't like this.
We just all have to take a pact that once it gets on somebody, the other one has to team up on him. That's
Exactly.
Right, like Whitmer's fat, right, Christian?
Yeah, it's just so morbidly obese. I don't even like it.
Oh, sorry. Introduce yourself.
Is it morbid?
Morbid.
Yeah, I'm Nick Whitmer. I'm also a comedian, aka Big Rig, aka
Oh, no.
what are the other nicknames I have? I have so many.
Rig Sanity?
Rigsaw was
Rigsaw
Yeah,
Puzzle.
Rigatoni. That was a good one. That's
Rigatoni.
Jordan, yeah. Anyway, Nick Whitmer.
Sometimes we call you the N-word, but
Yeah. Well, it was my given name, so I had to change that for show business.
yeah. Oh dear.
I was listening. I think I told you this the other day. I have a cartoon show called Future Hall of Famers. Check it out on YouTube. But
My Twitter is also at Brett Rabel, just while we're doing plugs.
yeah. But anyway, I was going.
You can see me at Burger King later tonight eating.
But Whitmer was on my cartoon show, and he did the voiceover for it. And I was going through old tracks that weren't unused, and there was one line.
Boy.
There's one line.
This is an oh dear moment.
Yeah. There was just one line that was hilarious where he's like, I'm going to go in my room and whisper the N-word into a shoebox. And it makes me sad that nobody ever heard that. But
Yeah, there's so many outtakes of future Hall of Famers of us saying just terrible shit.
yeah, that was pretty bad.
Christian, you have the ability, if any of us gets a career,
Oh, yeah.
you have the ability to ruin it
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
Well, any comedian's group chat will ruin their career.
That is true.
And I'm,
Yeah.
I'm 100%. I don't believe anybody is clean in a group chat. There's no comic, especially.
Yeah, as far as like the public facing,
Yeah.
well, I'm a good person. If you just took any screenshot from a group chat,
Yeah.
anyone looks like an asshole. That must suck for Obama that he can't, in a group chat,
Yeah.
just be like, look at this dumb bitch. Like,
thing
he
is-
can't actually.
The good news is so far nobody has been taken down by a group chat.
Yeah, that's
as
true.
soon as that happens, though, it's over for everybody.
That's
as soon as
actually a
that
really good
precedent
point.
gets set, as soon as that happens, we're done.
That's
forever.
the laugh, say space.
Yeah,
and
the laugh-
that's the group chat.
Yeah.
Just you pick a crew, and whatever you say in the.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a
It's-
speakeasy for comedy as a group
Yeah.
chat. You can say whatever you want.
But there is a thing when someone will post a screenshot of text they had with another person online.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they think like, I just owned this person. But I'm often, and maybe I'm like Mr. Privacy guy, but I'm like, no, you just took a private conversation and put it online.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think
not cool.
completely
I don't
unfair.
think when they do it with dating stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that because it's like that situation where you have to reach out to somebody and then it takes courage. Then you have to write something clever, and then they just take a screenshot of it
Yeah.
of them saying something shitty to you. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, pardon the fuck out of me for messaging you on a dating website that we're both on, you asshole.
Yeah.
Like, how could that? I hate that.
So often with like female comedians, and wow, 3 minutes in, and I've already got.
Here it goes.
This is what happens. You get. This is our group chat.
Yeah.
No, but there were like articles often by female comedians, or let's just say female writers, online writers, and the article is like, look at these dumb men on this dating app, and then they'll just being snarky about kind of normal stuff a guy sent. I'm not even being like the guy would just be like. Even a cheesy pickup line or something, and
Yeah.
they're like, "What a fucking idiot!" And I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of what it's for.
Right.
Yeah, what bothers me is like, so I'm engaged. I haven't been dating in a long time, but when I was on OkCupid mostly. And OkCupid was one of those ones where like you had to like write a message to the girl because they would never write you first. So
Yeah.
you would just sit there and come up with shit to write to them all the time, and it would just go ignored.
Of course.
All the time. And like women would often complain about how men would just write, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh, you need to do better than that."
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
what do you mean, "Hey, what's up?" You come up with something. And then, like, as soon as it went to Bumble
Yeah.
where the woman has to message you first, every screenshot is a woman going like,
Hi.
LOL, hi.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, it's
Of
not so
course.
fucking easy, is it?
Yeah. Women on dating apps expect a guy to be as witty as Mark Twain.
Yeah, I know.
But
It's-
then look like not Mark Twain. I don't think Mark Twain would have done well.
nah,
on
he would have
Hinge.
crushed it, dude.
I don't know.
He's got that mustache.
Yeah.
Every dating profile, like women's dating profile, is just everything they're not looking for. It's like so negative right away. It's like can't be short, can't be fucking poor, can't
Yeah.
be this.
No hookups.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Yeah,
You're
and I
wasting
feel
your
like they,
time.
they have to because of there's if they don't do that, they're
That's
just
true.
inundated with dick pics. They're like, well, she must want to fuck now if she didn't say she didn't. So.
Can I tell you the short story of when I was on a dating app? And what if you just said no?
You're like, I don't want to
Anyway,
hear that.
move on.
Anyway, Christian, what's up, dude?
It was I had never had been on a dating app. I downloaded Hinge.
God,
But
I've never even heard of that one.
Hinge, yeah, it is. It's a pretty famous one.
Isn't
Yeah.
it one with like mutual friends? Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and the reason I downloaded it is because a fellow comedian said, "Hey, do you want to make $100? Download Hinge and be in this video for a website called Betches." Betches, as you can tell, is a very reputable source.
Yeah.
Betches, it's like a website for young women who
Yeah.
have more attitude than life requires.
Is that the slogan?
I don't know if it's something like that where you're like,
Love it.
tone it down. There's no
Right.
reason to be in your face to everybody all the time. But so I downloaded it obviously, and now I remember I answered the questions how I thought would be funny. Because like the dating app question. So one of the questions, and I hope I don't blank on it, but it was like, what is one of your biggest flaws? And I wrote, denying the Holocaust. I thought it was kind of funny.
Dear.
I thought it was kind of funny. And then
Oh,
it was like,
my.
what was something you got in trouble for in high school? And I wrote, denying the Holocaust. So I thought those answers were funny. And then when I get there and I'm showing it's like a little mini shoot,
Yeah.
but there's a producer. And the producer goes, "Oh my God." And I go, "Was it not work?" And she was like, she told me it was like, this company was headed by 2 Jewish women. And I was like, for the record, didn't know that. Would not have put that. And then, but the segment was Queer Eye for the Straight Guy type of thing where
For anti-Semites?
for Jewish eye for the anti-Semitic guy. But yeah, it was a Queer Eye for the Straight Guy type of thing. And I guess the new Queer Eye is good. Haven't watched it. But
It
I
is
remember the old one was all just kind of being mean to straight men. And that's what this segment was to me.
Yeah.
Frankly,
Yeah.
I mean, I was just laughing about it at the time because
Yeah.
whatever. But all of the jokes where, where'd you get that shirt? My sisters bought it for me. What are they, blind? No, okay.
Yeah.
What about those shoes?
You just take it.
It's a Christmas gift from my mom. Oh, is she retarded? It's like
You
that.
should have been indignant. Yes.
Yeah.
She is, actually. You're going to make fun of her?
I don't know if he said retarded ever, but he would have been able to
Nowhere
get away
to
with
Yeah.
it. So yeah, that's my dating app story.
Yeah, I knew we should have not had that story told.
First story told, baby.
Bomb, babe. No.
So what's it? So I guess we're gonna go into the oh dear moments.
Oh
of the
yeah,
week.
yeah, absolutely. I know you said who wants to go first? I guess we wanted to have somewhat of a prepared part of a podcast where we had to come in with some sort of
Right.
something, so it's
Yeah,
not completely just us riffing the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's really important that it's not natural and sort of seamless. I think it's good.
Yeah, just very segmented.
You know, in our conversations with each other as friends, when you're like, okay, stop, Christian. It's now Whitmer's turn to tell the story.
You turn on the egg timer.
You have 6 minutes.
Good.
Don't screw it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Oh, the first bell.
There is a
rang.
bell in the studio.
Yeah.
So
For what reason I don't know.
no, I don't. What you had texted us to remind you to tell us.
Oh
something.
yeah.
By the
Oh,
way,
dude,
this
yeah.
podcast. One more point before you say it. Is going to ruin hanging out because anytime something funny happens to any of us, you'll just be like, save for the podcast. So it's gonna suck that like I can't just tell my friend a funny story.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I saw the funniest thing on the way here.
Was it one of my which clip of mine?
I was on the subway and this guy walks on and he starts like talking very aggressively to everybody. So I assumed he was like asking for change in like an awkward way. But then all of a sudden music starts and he was like the Showtime guy, but like he had this like fuck you, I just dunked on you energy. So he's like dancing and like staring everybody down, and he jumps up on the thing and like does a spin around and then lands in front of a woman and literally like bucks at her. And like, he's so intense.
Yeah.
And then afterwards he's done, he's walking around, he's like, "Is anybody give me some money for that?" He's like, "I'm dancing." He's like, "I'm dancing my heart out, and you guys aren't gonna give me anything." And he's just so intense. And I just want to be like, dude, you have the worst energy to ask for money. Like, you can't do this to people. Like, everybody was like literally going like, "Oh my god." What
He's like R. Kelly in that interview.
Oh yeah,
I just gave you 30 years,
dude. It was like that, dude. It was like unbelievable. Like, usually it's like 14-year-old kids and they turn and it's all fun and energetic but this guy like was by himself, put some music on. And he's literally like
he danced like we doubted he was gonna be good at dancing.
Dude, I know exactly.
What?
He's like, "Did you see those moves?"
He danced like he was on Broadway like 3 years ago, and he's like, "This is what I'm fucking doing now."
But just like no joy in his face. Like he literally had "I just dunked on you" energy the whole time. Like just staring down everybody. It was insane.
It's hateful dance.
I love that.
Dude, I was laughing, so I was trying because I could tell if I laughed out loud he would have hit me because he was really he had that energy. But I was like going like, this is insane.
Here's what I think. I think like we have seen. How do we know that's not his act? How do we know, much like Lewis Black amps up anger, how do we know this isn't the angry dancer? Like, that's his branding.
Because it's totally counterproductive to getting money. That's like that. And it's also like so raw that if he was faking that, he should be an actor. Like, that was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah? Well, he might be.
Yeah, maybe.
It usually doesn't work when you go, "Hey, pay me."
Yeah.
Somebody owes you.
Kind of effective, though.
It was not, dude. No one gave him a dime.
Oh, that breaks my heart. I thought you, by the way, when you said he was standing right in front of a woman, and you said he did like a what or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, for whatever reason, my mind went to he did a DMX crotch chop.
One of the things he
I would have donated.
Yeah, if you saw that, he like put his arm on like the railing in the center, and like his first dance move was literally like it looked like he was like dislocating his shoulder in and out, and I was like, "Is this it was like gross." I literally was like, "Ugh!" And I like turned and looked, and then he did. Yeah, it was amazing.
I love hat dancing.
Yeah,
because it's never that good.
It's never that impressive.
Even when they're amazing, you're like,
okay. I feel like that's something you can pick up in 20 minutes.
What's hat dancing?
It's like when they put the hat on their shoe and they kick it up and they land. Yeah. It's like
that takes like an afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just like dancing the poles, dude. That's like the real people.
That's
shit.
Amazing, actually. There's like some phenomenal.
Oh, totally.
Pole dancers. That sounds weird, but like they're New York City street kids, street urchins or whatever. If I could just dancing on a subway car. They're amazing.
Street urchins.
It's weird because
these orphans.
Yeah, I know.
He sounds like he's 43.
I do. Very much so.
Yeah, with their flash dancing and their rap music.
And they're just like fucking the kids from what's that goddamn thing? Not Charlie. Oscar.
The Grouch.
No.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
What is that? Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist.
Oh, okay.
I totally ruined that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
well, no, the nerves are getting to you.
Well, I'll go into my shit. I got not my identity stolen, but someone got into my passwords. And since everybody just uses, for the most part, everybody I know just uses one password.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day.
They always tell you to use different passwords, but there's only one nerd who does it.
Yeah.
Who like reads the directions when he gets a vacuum cleaner, right?
Yeah.
So somebody got a hold of my passwords, and it's been kind of ongoing for like a month. I changed a lot of stuff, but someone was going through my eBay, and I saw like they were looking up under my recently.
You can see what they viewed.
Yeah, under my recently viewed, there's like these little like Japanese statues that cost like $3,000 each.
What the fuck?
They changed my shipping address to some place in like Jersey, some like So I Google mapped the place, and it's like this warehouse in Jersey, which looks so sketchy.
What a
and
sophisticated burglar, though. He's
Yeah.
like trying to buy high art. Like,
Yeah.
what is-
Well, I mean, he's gonna sell that shit to like the highest bidder out of this warehouse in Jersey, and like he's looking at computer parts and all this stuff. He bought like some game cards, some like PlayStation gift cards.
He already made some purchases.
Yeah, so which I had to like take care of. I mean, it was fine. They got my PayPal and all this shit. But anyway, so this happened this week where I was on Spotify, and if you're on Spotify, you can sort of stream your music to different devices, but you can see where your music's being streamed.
Yeah, I know. I got that.
Right. So I'm at a show and I'm waiting for, I'm upstairs waiting for the show to start or whatever. And I'm listening to music and all of a sudden I see that my music's being played. Like it's like Beanie
Oh my
Man.
God, Jesus!
It says being played on a web player. It's like Beanie Man or whatever.
Shut.
And it's like, and they made like 3 different playlists of like dance hall 2000s mix. So this reggae dude is just listening to this
Oh my
fucking
God,
music
dude.
on his computer. So, I mean, this sounds hacked, but this is really what happened. So I immediately changed it to It's Raining Men. And played it about 3 times. So, like, the first time it played, it kind of went through. So he was just like at home just going like, the fuck? And then he changed it back. And then as soon as he changed it back, I changed it back to It's Raining Men. So he had to, like, wherever he was, whatever he's doing, I hope he was, like, hosting a party.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then just had it on.
with all the fine art he purchased.
Yeah.
Using your.
It's so weird to do that because, like, I get like the need of like someone going, "I'm going to steal someone's shit," but to be like, "While I'm here, I might as well play some music on their
Yeah.
account."
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, isn't Spotify free to stream? Like,
And
it's you pay for
well-
like the downloadable ones, but he could just stream it. Why does he?
Yeah, no, he just doesn't want ads.
Yeah, I guess.
That's like so funny that he has your identity. It's $15 a month or something. It's
Yeah,
not that
exactly.
crazy.
And the crazy thing is that he, like, I went to my profile. So I have a profile for my account, and then my fiance has one under my account. And I
Yeah.
looked, he created a profile for
Oh my
himself.
God, dude.
But if you create a profile, you can't, like, I wouldn't be able to see what he was listening to
So now-
unless I logged in.
He's like he takes up one spot in the family
Yes.
plan.
Dude, and Spotify literally has like 5 slots, and that's
Yeah.
it.
I don't think he's just stealing your identity. I think he's
like-
trying to become part of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna big daddy you, except it's gonna be a 42-year-old Jamaican man from
Cape
New Jersey.
Fear.
Yeah, well, the dumb thing is, like, he put his real name on there. So I, like, looked him up on Twitter and
Dude.
just, like, followed him on Twitter. And just, like, I didn't say anything. I was just like, I want to see what he's up to. And all his stuff is, like, he's just retweeting fucking play this game and win $1 million. Like,
that thing. That's
Yeah.
like weird.
So you could like get him arrested then.
I guess so, but I don't. You know what's weird? I just don't care enough. Like, I'm like, I really don't want to fill out a police report. I'm not going to, like, I'm just
I'll
taking
do
you
it.
on. So, I've got time.
Brett's like, I get to get a Jamaican guy arrested. I'm in.
White privilege. The whiteness is coming out.
I know.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, arrest this guy.
Yeah,
It's not crazy to think he's tried to buy a $3,000 item on your account.
well, it could be a different person. That's the thing. Because the name, that one was like, some fake Russian name, which makes me go, I'm not fucking with a Russian mob. If they're, some warehouse in Jersey owned by the Russian mob trying to buy some laptop equipment to sell it.
Right.
But that one was just like some dude, and I was just like, I'm just gonna take him off my thing and then change my password.
No, you need to report him to the police
I
for
know.
Spotify infringement.
Yeah.
Just that was the old. Don't say the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably like a hack bit at this point. I mean, I've never heard anybody do it, but like, I literally have this thought about identity being stolen. It's like, I don't have anything. Like, I have nothing worth. Like,
Yeah.
they could hack my passwords. And like they would just like, well, you're gonna pay the overdraft card, like
Right.
I don't have anything. What are you gonna do?
Well, there's a one time. This was about like 10 months ago. I did a college gig, and I was on my, and they send you checks. You get them like 2-3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, college gigs, generally speaking, are the most well-paying gigs for like a no-name stand-up.
Yeah.
So, and I checked my mailbox. I was actually on my way to the airport because I was visiting my brother in Dallas, and so I didn't have time to go to BVA to cash it. So I just put it in my wallet, and I later cashed it in Dallas. And I had an email that was like, "Is everything cool?"
Yeah.
Like that was like, "Hey, just so you know, fraud maybe is happening."
Yeah.
And it was for depositing a check, which is like,
I'm not
let it
flagging that
happen.
ever.
Yeah.
That could be
They're like,
blood
"This is
money.
too much money for this guy to pay." It was, yeah.
They're like, this guy's not doing nearly that well.
No.
There's no way he'd be in Dallas. Like, it's not
Yeah.
fucking that.
So yeah, man, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to keep it dead
That's
for a
insane.
second.
You should just keep
like-
track of him and then find him one day.
Yeah, I don't know, and just like ruin his life. I used to have a bit about that. How I found out my my neighbor was cheating on his wife, and then, like all this.
What?
Yeah, this is like when I first moved to
Yeah,
New York.
this is when
a long
Christian and
time
I
ago.
were first friends. This was like one of his bits at the open mics when we were hanging out.
Yeah, it was about how.
Dude,
I
that
found-
was 8 years ago. By
know,
the way.
that was a
my
long
8-year anniversary of stand up was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Really?
Like last week, actually. Yeah.
That was nuts. Yeah, I remember that. I remember those first mics at the Pit with Michelle Wolf hosting.
Yeah.
I always think about that. It's crazy. She was hosting and fucking, what's his name? Adam Ruins Everything was there.
Yep.
I saw
Adam
him.
Conover, yeah.
I'll never forget that he had a ukulele at a 2-minute mic, and I was like, oh, fuck this guy forever.
Yeah. When I first got to New York,
I like him, but
yeah,
When
I was at a mic with Chris Evans was there, and
did a couple minutes.
yeah, now he's Captain America.
This is how you know he doesn't do stand up.
Yeah. but yeah, I'm like, I don't know. If it happens one more time, I'm definitely gonna like, I don't know.
Like if he,
I might
if he
report-
plays one more song or if he steals like
If somebody does some shit on my accounts, like it's fucking annoying.
You
They
almost
changed
just-
my passwords.
Yeah, you almost just
Yeah.
want to say that, which is actually more annoying than having money taken from
Exactly.
you. And actually, as you told me that story, I'm like, I got to change my passwords, man.
Yeah.
I just because
You have to.
like I just got a Bank of America. I got to change it to
Yeah.
something tight and not something obvious.
You gotta change it to like these fucking letters that don't mean anything. Like
Yeah.
ZX13457.
I know what you mean when you say don't report people that you just like it's too much work or who cares.
Yeah.
Because I told you, I don't know if I told you the story of I got a mechanic who came into our apartment,
yeah.
stole from me.
Yeah.
yeah, you keep saying mechanic, and I'm like,
That's what I was like, he
I'm
told
just,
me the story
I
as
was so
mechanic.
puzzled by that.
Repairman?
Yeah, like our mechanic
Repairman.
works on a car.
Yeah, a mechanic is like an automobile mechanic. Mechanic.
Mechanic.
Jesus.
I like Mechanic. It's a Monique movie
Yeah.
where she plays a mechanic. M-O apostrophe
Oh,
canic.
man.
I'm gonna change your spark plug, baby.
I already know the tagline. Mechanic, mo problems.
Netflix would pay a lot of money for that.
No, they wouldn't.
they
Not our special.
Apparently, they wouldn't.
but the repairman.
Thank you.
There you go. Came in and this guy has been come to our apartment maybe like once or twice every year for 5 years. So I don't even think anything of it. Also, I wouldn't think of it even if because we have had a leaky ceiling. So I let him in. I don't think of it. A few hours go by. He's now has fixed it and he's saying bye and he's telling me like, oh, we'll exchange numbers because I got to come paint the ceiling so it cosmetically looks good. And I say another time and I say, cool. He leaves, and then I check my wallet on the table when I'm eating breakfast, and I notice I'm 95% sure I had $65 in my wallet.
And if anybody would know exactly how
Yeah.
much money would be in his wallet, it would be Brett.
Yes.
Yeah, I've told Christian, if you used my floss, I could tell that there was less floss in it. My new roommate tried to eat some of my food, and I had to sit him down and go, just so you know, I notice.
Yeah, I counted every individual spaghetti noodle in the box.
Kind of really do. It's a little pathetic. But, and his main giveaway, though, was I never fold my cash when I put in my wallet, and the cash was folded in half in one of my wallets. I think he did it because it would look like more.
Yeah.
Is maybe how he was thinking. And so I called him, and I basically was like, hey, man, did you there is now money. There's money missing from my wallet. And the man, he goes, oh, shit.
Guilty.
But you know what was
What a
funny?
reveal.
Yeah, oh, shit. And then I just let him sit in it, and he goes, "Oh man,
There's so much.
man!" I can hear his wheels turning as he goes, "Man,
There's so much being said in there.
oh, man. And like, I'm not mad, like,
Yeah.
righteously, like, it's tremendously not cool to steal money from anyone,
Yeah.
in their apartment especially, but like oh shit, it's like, this is like just a nice person who just made a mental error to just be like, oh, there's money, I'm just gonna take it. He didn't think I would notice.
Yeah.
I'm a psycho with this stuff. And but he just, oh man, and he never admitted guilt.
Yeah.
That was what was funny to me. He goes, oh, so how do you want to do this? And I said, please return the money. Before the end of the day, or otherwise I'm gonna have to go to the cops. Or I said, otherwise I'm gonna have to tell the landlord, and maybe consider filing a police report. And he goes, oh, you don't got to do that. And then he goes, I'll get you the money. The word choice he used was like, as if he was just giving me 30 of his dollars to be nice.
Yeah.
I forget what it was, but it was like, oh, I can get you $30 if that helps. It was something I can get. Like, it
What
was
a magnanimous gesture.
Yes, he never
Wow.
officially said, oh yeah, I took your money, but it
Yeah.
was obviously so obvious.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to be like, tell me you stole it.
Right. But he was like, you know what? That sounds hard. Let me give you $30.
That's kind of what I remember. Yeah, I don't remember I remember the oh shit, because that was so funny. But I don't. Anyway, so at like 4 p.m. that day, he comes to my apartment, and the thing was, he's like, he's a man in his 40s. He was actually at the door, and he was crying.
Oh.
And I started to feel bad, because
Yeah.
it was like, dude, you don't need to feel that much guilt. Yeah, I mean, you made a mistake. We all make mistakes, and
I just picture you on the curb, like,
kind of
with
that's
your
how
arm
it was.
around him.
It kind of was like that, man. It was actually a very sweet moment between me and this gentleman, because like, and I don't want to tell the story like I'm such a hero for telling him it's
Yeah.
okay.
That's
even
what I
though-
heard.
As if I'm the Pope who was shot and now I forgive him. Which, by the way, I was actually thinking of course the Pope forgave the guy who shot him. What's he gonna do? Fuck that guy up? Like,
Yeah.
Well, he kind of has to, because his boss, Jesus, is literally, that's his MO.
Yeah.
He's forgiving everybody. Like, what is he going to go against that?
no, yeah, the Pope can't be like, nah, we ain't
Nah.
cool.
Nah.
So, but yeah, it was just a nice moment, because it was like, it also was, he was telling me, he was like, a lot of people would just, tell the landlord or try and get me in trouble. He goes, why didn't you do that? And I go, I figure it's, the truthful answer, if you really want to know the truth, is I wasn't 100% sure money was taken out of my wallet.
Oh, wow.
I was 90% sure.
Yeah.
Didn't I have that?
That's pretty close, though. 90 is pretty close.
And then when he said, oh shit, it was 100.
Speaking of, you mentioned the Pope. I read this article. Did you know that John Hinckley is just like free?
Is he?
You know,
Who's
John
John
Hinckley
Hinckley
is the guy who shot Reagan. And here's what's funny. He shot Reagan, and he shot another guy who worked for Reagan. And that guy died maybe 5 years ago. And that was ruled a homicide, because he lived for 30 years after he was shot. But he died from complications of that wound. So it was ruled a homicide 30 years after he was actually shot. But this guy was nuts. And to impress Jodie Foster,
yeah.
he shot two people. He shot Reagan and one of his dudes, and he just lives in like Florida now.
Are they, what's up with him?
Well,
and
so
Jody?
he got he pleaded
They still text.
he pleaded not guilty on the basis of insanity, and I guess he was literally insane. And then they said that for the last 3 decades, he's proved that his insanity went away.
Yeah.
Which sounds
Oh my
to me
God.
like that sounds to me like he did something insane, said I'm crazy, and then as soon as they said okay, he's just like, all right, I'm good now. Like that's what that sounds like to
Go
me.
do some more insane shit.
But so he just lives with his mom, and he sells antiques online, and then like that's just, like he has an Etsy store. Like you could literally buy something from John Hinckley on the internet. Like that's insane.
Oh, that's creepy.
A man shot a sitting president.
Yeah.
And he's out and about amongst us.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Dude, I was reading this article, like, is this not... It was the LA Times. I was like, is this real? Is this a real article?
Dude, I actually think if this would be one of those, like, news scoops that would stoke some serious outrage among right-wing or conservative people, because it's almost like proof. They would just go, if he shot a liberal president, he would be in jail forever. That's what they would say.
This is it, though. To also, like, reading the article, he had the cops called on him because he was trying to date. And, like, apparently he creeped this one woman out so much that she called the police. And I'm like, so he's still creepy. He's still the guy who shot the president.
Yeah.
Like, he's totally that guy still. Like,
Yeah, you don't change that much. Like,
and by the
Do you
way,
think any of the cops, sorry to interrupt you, were when they got the call from the woman and they went to his house and they saw his face, they were like, you shoot.
No, I know. I get it all the time.
Yeah. They were like, is he out and about?
by the way, the woman, it's like, how lonely do you have to be to go on a date with John Hinckley?
Yeah,
like,
really.
Jesus,
Well,
just be by yourself,
I don't
you idiot.
know. People probably don't know the name. Or how did you know that name, Christian?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah.
But
I didn't.
Well, I mean, it's probably not big news because that name is, I think people have forgotten about it a little bit.
But even if you heard Hinckley, you'd probably, your first thought would be like, oh, he has the same name as that guy who shot Reagan. You wouldn't be like, oh, that's him. Because you would assume he's locked away somewhere. Nope, not at all.
But if you're that woman on the date, are you just like, when you're doing getting to know you questions, like, how does that not come up?
I would just ask questions that kind of are about
Here's-
Jodie Foster.
even
I'd
if
be
she
like,
didn't-
have you ever
Hold up.
seen In Contact? It's my favorite movie. Like, just...
Here's the thing, though. This guy has the greatest 2 truths and a lie ever. Because it'd be like, so my favorite fruit is grapefruit. I've been to Sweden twice, and I shot a president. And they're like, shut up. You didn't shoot a president. He's like, no, I don't like grapefruit.
That's amazing. I wonder if she was just like, so what have you been doing? Like, what do you do? Oh, I sell antiques with my mom. Oh, how long you been doing that? Oh, like 2 years. Oh, really? What were you doing before that?
When does it come up?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, let's say I'm in my 50s and I'm, single after a litany of failed marriages with various pop stars and starlets and Hollywood starlets.
Of course.
I think it is a deal breaker in a relationship. If Christian, you're getting married. Mm-hmm. Hey, so are you, Papa Witt?
I was about to say, you just forgot about me?
Yeah.
I did go to their place. Jordan and Brett, they live together. They're brothers. And I looked on their fridge, and Christian's save the date was just prominently displayed, and mine was just not there. I was like, okay, thanks.
I think, we threw it out.
I clearly.
Not going
I actually noticed that the other day. I was like, I actually thought to myself, did Witt not send us one? I assume I'm invited.
Did you get one?
I honestly don't remember.
Because you know what's funny is our dog walker who lives a block away from us literally texted us 2 weeks ago. It was like, oh, I got your save the date. And we sent him out 6 months ago.
Oh, wow.
I really
The
don't-
mail is just terrible in New York. But I'm hoping that was what happened. But I sent one for you and for Jordan. How do they both get lost in the mail?
Your fiance just threw him out.
Yeah. Maybe it was Sarah. She's like, I don't
I don't
write those
want them.
fucking pricks.
Here's the thing that would make you feel even worse, Witt. There is another comedian who I'm way less good friends with, also on the fridge, and yours isn't.
I'm trying to think who it is because I saw it. I remember seeing it. I'm like, you're going to that wedding?
You got invited to that wedding?
Never mind.
That surprised me. I don't know why I'm hushed tones.
Sorry, you're talking about Hinckley or something. You're talking about dating 50 years
no,
after.
No, let me ask you guys this. You're both getting married.
Uh-huh.
If you found out, what's an equivalent kind of time-wise? If you found out, what's a momentously huge crime against you? If you found out your fiance was
Did 9/11?
that
Yeah.
that one's a little bit worse.
Okay.
But not did 9/11, but
Her
was
father did.
around.
Yeah.
Drove one of the getaway cars.
Yes, kind of. Yes, that's she didn't, really orchestrate the plane, but
She bought the tickets.
She was the travel agent.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
What would you do?
I'd be like, man, are you still like that? I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. That's crazy.
I'd be like, so what you're telling me is it's not an inside job
This whole time.
this whole time?
It'd be super weird for you, Wick, because your fiance is white. So you're like, what connections did you have?
She's also Jewish.
Mine would be like, oh yeah.
Was that racist?
Yeah.
Did I just say a racist
You know what's
thing
really
about
funny? I
Natasha?
didn't even make the connection. That's funny. She's Canadian, though.
Yeah.
She's Canadian,
She
but
has no
she's
stakes.
Indian, right?
Yeah, she is.
Heritage-wise.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
racist.
you almost
as shit.
whispered Indian. She's right? She's Indian.
Even when white people say another race, we still just whisper black. Natasha's Indian. I'm like, is she black?
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if it was anything like that, like, what do you do? Like, I don't know. Because my fiance was like, what if you found out I was a tranny? I was like, I don't know.
I'd be like,
Natasha said that?
Yeah, she like early on, she's like, what would you do if I was just like 6 months in? I was like, I shouldn't have used that word. But
I was just thinking that. I was like, I would scold her for using that term.
Yeah, I
That's
feel
what I
that.
would do.
she's
I'm
like,
a
what would
good
you do if
liberal.
you found out I was transgender 6 months in? She's like, would you still stay with me? I was
What do
like,
you mean 6 months in, though? 6 months into the
In the
marriage?
relationship.
Relationship? Well, that's early
I'd be
enough.
like, wow, you lied to me for 6 months. It's kind of fucked up.
I think it'd be worse now.
Yeah.
Like in her vows, she's like, oh, by the way,
I'd be like, wow.
I used to be Brandon.
Yeah.
I'd be like, whoa, what?
It's like, well, we already paid the caterer. So
yeah.
The ring bearer is holding her old
Deposit's
cock.
already down, so I guess we're going to. Jesus.
I'm sorry. It's one of those things where I can go, we're all
dear.
thinking it.
We weren't.
I know.
But yeah, I would just be like,
That was an oh dear one. For the
yeah, it was.
So like basically you find out that your wife committed a crime in her past.
No.
Not like a crime.
Not like a
fucking
crime.
Crazy.
Like
It's like a crazy crime.
Like we're close to the level, maybe not as close
historic
to the
crime.
level of shooting a sitting president, shooting a
a
president.
historic. She changed history.
Yes. Yeah. A crime. How many crimes change history?
Sure.
There's like one every fucking 5 or 10 years.
I don't know.
9/11 was like the last hit.
Yeah, that was pretty big. Was there another one? Like changed history?
Yeah, I guess like there's obviously been big terrorist attacks,
Yeah.
but like
Whoa, I just got a text, guys. I think someone's ears are buzzing. Assalamu alaikum. Please join us and your family on my grandson's first birthday celebration, April 26th at 6:30 p.m. And then they sent a flyer, and Ariz is turning 1.
What the hell? What
wait.
Yeah.
2 things. Why did you say someone's ears are buzzing?
Because we were just talking about terrorists, and one just texted me. Duh. I'm kidding. Oh dear.
Was it Natasha who texted you?
Oh boy. This is a group chat with 18 people and 19 people in it, and I gotta be the one to be like, wrong number, bro. I'm gonna do it right now.
No. Don't have fun with
Yeah.
it.
Just be like,
What are you doing?
I'll be there, and I'm bringing Susan.
Okay, you can come on. This is I'm so
I don't like burdening people. I don't like
Whitmer.
you and I are.
Brett is
See,
the-
you're the little brother, so
Yeah.
you grew up like kind of aggravating your older siblings. You were like, I didn't. I grew up being aggravated by my little brothers. I don't like to fuck with people. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Here's the thing.
Brett's like, why don't you report him to the cops? Why don't you keep fucking with these people? You're talking with a man in like endless free time or something. You have like most of your day is devoted to pranks and tricks.
I've never seen Assalamu
Do not say
alaikum.
I will be so mad at you if you say wrong number. And I needed
I mean,
to
I
tell
can
you something.
deal with you being
in
mad.
fact, in fact, it would mean a lot to me if you added me to that group text.
And you guys just coordinate between the
God
two of
damn
you.
it. That would be funny. if
and
I-
then we can have an interaction.
Oh man.
Just be like, oh, whose car? Who should drive? I'm like, oh, I'll drive. Anybody need to let me know.
oh boy.
Hijack their group chat.
All right. Well,
This is an idea I have in the back of my head. I might as well share it now. I want to start the world's largest group chat where every person on my phone I start a group chat with, and I say, hey guys, I'm interested in going to Puerto Rico this summer. Is anyone interested in coming with? And it goes to my mom, one of the most people I text with the most.
Yeah.
It also goes to a person, those names in your phone you don't recognize.
yeah, totally.
It goes to one of them too.
and we'll see how quick everybody leaves the group chat.
I don't think you can leave phone group chats.
I think the person
really?
who starts
If
it has
it's-
to like get rid of you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, you guys be on the lookout for that. I've thought about this a lot, and I was like, I think this would be a fun prank, but I don't know if I have the social capital and am I charismatic or charming enough to have everyone mad at me. Like I don't think
Yeah.
I can get out of like one or two people being mad at me.
Yeah.
By being
But
like
a whole phone.
my whole phone.
Yeah, I'm like,
Every person who's intersected with me in ways big and just like one night or whatever.
God, you get some weird people who go, "Yeah, man," and you're like, "I don't even know who that is."
Yeah.
just fucking Stan Best Buy is mad at you. Like
Yeah.
whoever you know from like different places.
Papa John's number.
Yeah. I got some thing to talk about. We've been talking about like, ratting people out, pranks and all this stuff. But we've been wanting to get a dog. I think I told you this. I've been talking about it on
mentioned
stage.
that, yeah.
I've been talking about it on stage for a little bit. We've been wanting to get a dog, but we're not allowed to have a dog in our building.
Yeah.
So my fiance and I noticed that the floor above us, somebody moved in and they have a dog. So I was like, oh well, whatever. I guess they just have a dog. They're just breaking the rules. But my fiance texts the landlord and goes,
What?
Hey, just checking. We really want a dog. What's the policy on having a dog? And he's like, well, it's no dogs allowed. And she's like, are you sure? Excuse me. And she's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, whatever. He gets a little cunty. He's like, yeah, I know this is hard.
Oh my God.
And she goes, oh, okay, just because apartment 5A has a dog. And I just want to know if the rules had changed.
God damn it! What did she do that for?
And he goes, all right, I'll go talk to them.
Oh, no.
And now, apparently he went and talked to her. But I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, you would never last in jail. Like,
"Oh my
Yeah.
God!"
Yeah.
But they have to like put their dog down or get rid of it or
That's what I'm
something.
saying.
Like the consequences of that.
Yeah.
Just to be like, well, 5A has one. and
I know.
Ouch! No.
You could just be like, I think there's a dog upstairs somewhere. You don't have to say 5A has a dog.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
And she also,
no.
I was just saying, it's like she can't, like, you could never be in jail because she's just like, hey, are we allowed to have drugs? Because I would like some drugs.
Ernest has drugs.
Yeah, inmate 5C13 has drugs.
Serious-
Just letting you know.
Serious question.
Oh, no.
What gives Natasha more joy, a dog or tattling on someone? Is she like, I don't need a dog anymore. I got what I wanted out of potentially having a canine.
I know, but when he went up to talk to them, then she started going, like, I didn't want this. I was just like, what do you think was going to happen? It's so funny though.
That is so. I didn't want this. It's an inevitability.
Yeah, just fucking. If somebody breaks the rules and then gets away with it, I think it's just let them go, man.
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
don't like. I don't like telling on anybody.
Yeah.
Like I don't like if I get like bad service at a restaurant,
Yeah.
like I would never leave a bad Yelp review. Like
Yeah.
unless something was like somebody like stole from me at a restaurant or something. Like just
Yeah.
like I hate that philosophy of be like, well, I'm gonna leave a review. Like fuck you. Like why do you get to tell on everybody? Like that guy just had a bad day. Like let it be that. Like why does it have to be anything more?
I totally agree with you, but
Your tone says otherwise.
Yeah.
You're
I
like,
enjoy it.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Do you leave Yelp reviews, Brett?
I want to play devil's advocate and say that I do, but I never have left a Yelp.
Yeah.
But
review in my life.
here's what I do. Like I went to a place and it was terrible and the service was bad, so I just don't go there.
Yeah.
Like having to learn that yourself is not such a terrible mistake. It's
yeah.
it's not like you plunked down $1,000 to get the tasting menu at a 5-star restaurant and then it sucked.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, someone should have told me. It's like you literally spent $13 and you had a bad experience and then you just know not to go there anymore. It's fine. Like why do you have to like tell everybody to like sink this business? Like when you think about it
Yeah.
like that, it's a business. Like the person who owns it lives in your neighborhood. The employees who work at that business live in your neighborhood. They use that money to pay rent, and you're gonna be like, my sandwich was cold. I hate them. 2 stars. And then someone gets fired. It's like, dude, like don't do that. It's so mean.
Yeah, I've kind of only ever, in a way, sort of been happy with the service. I've never really been incensed by
Yeah.
the service.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not that hard to please at a restaurant, though.
No, sexually too.
I feel like you mostly go to just fast food places anyway, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was just gonna say I remember one time where it was you, me, and maybe Callus or something, and we wanted to go to and maybe somebody else, but we wanted to go to a restaurant for like breakfast. For some reason, we had it in our heads that we wanted to go to IHOP or Denny's, and it was like it's either IHOP or Denny's. That's what we just have it in our heads.
Yeah.
And we were walking, and we saw like some breakfast spot, and Brett was like, "Oh, why don't we just stop here?" And we're like, like if we keep walking, there's an IHOP, and like the whole way to IHOP, you had like this pissy face on that. Like you were pissed. I could tell you were annoyed. That it's like any place is just as good as any place.
They're all the same. They're all the same. Breakfast spots are all the same.
In a lot of ways, you're 100% right. If
Yeah.
anything, like the little mom and pop diner is better than IHOP.
No,
Yeah.
I get it. I completely get it. But it was just funny because I could tell you were so annoyed. I just had IHOP in my mind.
That's a way in which I've had to have contrasting my behavior with my, like, I guess, philosophy. Sometimes do contrast because mentality-wise, I know it is best and feels best to give money to not a chain.
Yeah.
But chains are so convenient.
Yeah.
So but I do actually, making some changes. I'm trying to not only ever just be a guy who, when he's on the road, just is like Mickey D's.
Yeah.
I purposely try that. I do that because I want to try something that I can't get at home, and I'm like, let's try this local place. But there's a little like a produce store in my neighborhood, and it's run by this old lady, and she only sells produce and then a couple like small groceries. So like what I was trying to do to support the small business is go to the grocery store and like pick out the stuff that I can't get there and then buy the produce from her. And like she would make comments about how I had bags from another store. She's like, "Oh, why would you go there?" And she would like get a little pissy about it. So one time I walk in and I'm like, I just needed eggs, and I grabbed a thing of eggs and I come up and I have my card out, and she's like, You can't use a card." And I'm like, "What? Okay, is there a minimum?" And she goes, "No, you just can't use a card for eggs." Like she's really shitty about it. And then she literally goes, "Why don't you go to the grocery store? That's where you go anyway." And I literally go, I just like drop the eggs in the cart and I go, "You know what? I will. I will never come." I literally, one of the few times, I'm usually too scared. I literally drop the eggs and I go, "Okay, yeah, you know what? I'll never come here again." You know what's fucking so good about this story? My favorite thing about this story is that another guy who was in the store works at the sandwich place that I get sandwiches from, and I walked in and he was like, "Dude, that bitch was a con." I was like, "I'm finally, someone saw it." Like usually nobody sees when shit like that happens.
The funny thing about that story is I always think that Whitmer is like irrationally mad, but he actually just lives in an alternate universe where everybody's unreasonable.
Yeah, that's God. You should have.
She said it like you've cheated on her.
Yeah.
Like you need to be faithful.
But it's like you don't sell everything. I can't get everything from you. I have to go to the groceries. Like fucking have a meat department, you idiot. Like put together something. Like why do I can't get everything from you?
Well, I mean that. All right.
What is
now
stop?
your anger is getting irrational that you're just like put together a meat department. It's not
but like if you expect me to only buy groceries from you, you have to have all of the groceries.
I totally.
And I'm also like, I'm not making 2 trips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I tried to a couple times to be nice, and then she was giving me shit every time. So
Well,
fuck
she's
her.
mad at you for her limitations, and she's a snob.
And still, I didn't give this bitch a negative review. I thought about it. I was like, I'm not going to do it. But every time I walk by, though, and there's people standing in front, I always want to just be like, don't buy from her. She sucks. But I don't. I'm too nice. Won't do
Yeah,
it.
but there is only one negative Yelp review that has been left in my family's history.
Ooh.
A dog kennel killed our dog.
Oh my God.
This is real.
Really?
Jesus.
So there is a 1-star review, which there really should be worse than one.
I was going to say, that's kind of
cases of-
shitty that you had to give him one, like, as the minimum.
Yeah,
That's how every bad review starts. If I
Yeah.
could give less than 1 star, I would.
But this, you read that and you're like, okay, asshole.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
the fries were cold. But
Yeah.
then you're like, oh no, they murdered your Bernese Mountain Dog. They left it out in the heat during the summer and it has
Oh,
a thick
God.
coat.
Oh, my God,
Jesus.
dude.
We don't have to hash this out now.
That's terrible, man.
When it comes to food, I always say that, like, if you live to be, 80, even 60, you're gonna have thousands of meals in your
Would
life.
you?
Yeah.
So you know what's funny? Christian said, "When you live to be 80," he looked at me and then looked at
Or 60. Give or take. Yeah, somewhere in there.
54.
With good genes.
But you're saying when you live to be whatever.
No, when you live to be whatever age, you're gonna have thousands of meals. So if one goes wrong, you'll get another shot. Relax.
Yeah.
I did. I had one experience. Went to one of those all-inclusive resorts in Mexico.
Yeah.
And the food was so terrible that I literally, they put down a dish in front of me and I literally rolled my eyes at the food.
Oh my God, dude.
I literally was like, really? This? Because what it was, it was an all-inclusive resort and they made it seem like it was high-end food. And then it was cafeteria food plated beautifully. It was so, but they literally put down this dessert and it had blue liquid that went in a little streak, and I'm like, there's no blue sauce. You literally, I don't know what you're doing, but you're literally just going let's make it look good, and you're just your daughter's painting in the back or something. I don't understand what this was. And they literally put down this dessert, and I ordered like a creme brulee, and it was like a cake. It wasn't even close to what I ordered either. So I just rolled my eyes at the attempt of what that was supposed to be.
I can't believe you rolled your eyes at food being placed in front of you
Oh, dude, it was so bad.
by a person of color. Identity politics.
Yeah, you got me.
That's a no, dear.
No, no, but I don't know. I've never eaten at an all-inclusive place. It does sound like on the surface something really nice, but then you're like, yeah, but you don't want all you can eat you want one all you can eat meal a year. Maybe
It's not even all you can eat.
Is it not?
You go to a restaurant and you basically
order off the menu and it's, you already paid $500
exactly.
or whatever.
So yeah, you order an entree each and an appetizer or whatever, and
But you could hypothetically, I guess that's.
you could just sit there and order more. Yeah, you could.
I guess it's not as bad.
And the entrees they don't use go in the buffet the next day.
Yeah,
Dude, that's the thing. You go to the breakfast buffet and it's just stale bread,
Yeah.
and it's just one of those things. Is do you think we're dumb? Do you think I guess in Mexico all the bread is stale? How
Dude.
cool! The culture we're experiencing.
Real quick, short tidbit. Jordan and I stayed at this one shit motel.
Was that the picture you guys put?
That was just on the road when we were
Okay, I thought
stopping
so.
to pee. And but this one shit motel, it's in Hamden, Connecticut, and they advertise continental free breakfast.
Sure.
Yeah.
And when we go, and they do this frequently, their definition of breakfast is they literally just put one loaf of bread out. There's no butter. There's no jam. It's just whatever Sun Valley bread, just a wheat loaf with nothing else. And there's no plates.
You couldn't even make toast?
There's no toaster.
Oh my God,
There's no toaster.
dude.
There's no butter. There's the bread.
Oh my
There's
God.
the bread.
You know what I love about that is there's some woman named Bernice who works there whose job is to go get the bread.
It's so funny when the first time we're you go, hey, I saw there's free breakfast, and the guy just points. And I have to look at him that I have no recourse because I need financially to stay at this motel. So you can, it's just, but that's the thing. It's that is better to me than a good meal. That funny shit of this, clearly these guys are just, they don't give a fuck. And that to me is that's a better, because that's something I can share with people and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Rather than just eggs and sausage and bacon or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Memories are worth more than good experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst memories make the best experiences. Always, dude.
Yes, or the best memories are from the worst
Excuse
experiences.
me. Yeah, I totally said that.
Yeah. It's
He's
the first
masochistic.
Yeah, I know.
show. Yeah.
I like my memories terrible.
But you were at the resort in Mexico. I don't know if you didn't.
I just like that was like I just rolled my eyes at the food of how terrible it was, and like I love food obviously, and I know a lot about it. And I cook a lot, but I'm not. I mean, I can like I stayed at a Holiday Inn on the road like last week, and the continental breakfast is just like
it's not as fun when you make fat jokes as when I make fat jokes.
Yeah, because you're jealous you didn't get to do it.
I'm like, well, it's my terrain.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Sorry, I cut you off again.
Yeah, it's like I can eat like a shitty continental breakfast where you make your own waffle and you have like a terrible breakfast sandwich, and I'm totally fine eating that because I know what it is. But just tell me that's what it is. Don't put on your website that it's like 5-star elegant food and then have it be that.
Yeah.
Because I would have stayed there if it was shitty too, because I just stayed there because the deal was good, and it was really just for the booze.
Okay.
Going back to this loaf of bread. So it was like a loaf of bread for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I ordered.
Half the loaf was taken.
Okay, yeah. So
Community hands that go
that's
in.
really
and
funny.
It's just this guy
wait, half the loaf was taken. That means people partook. They were like, "Oh, great!
Oh, bread."
But it feels like a Nathan for you prank a little bit. That you're like, because he's like, and he knows it's hilarious.
Yeah.
He doesn't think like, well, no, it's just a bread.
This is bread. This is how we do it around here.
Yeah, and he knows we're not going to do anything about it because it's like a $40 motel or something. So,
Oh boy,
how's that for a new name of the podcast?
we have about a minute and a half left of live radio, guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be here every Tuesday, by the way, B-Box Radio, if you're listening to us live right now. If you want the rest of the episode, you have to find us on your podcatcher, right, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was thinking about fat jokes and stuff, and did you see this video of Alex Jones?
No.
So Alex Jones just went to go eat at a place in like Austin, Texas, or wherever, or Houston, wherever he lives in Texas. And all of these liberals started literally going like, "Hey, Alex, when do you do? Hey, Alex." And then like I just thought like with between that and then like that Trump statue where he was naked with his little baby dick, and then Chris Christie, it's like, you're totally allowed to body shame like Republicans. That's totally okay. Like it's totally fine. Everybody encourages it. Everybody thinks it's adorable. If you say one word though about like Kirstie Alley, you're a monster.
Yeah,
I know. And
you're allowed to body shame anybody you don't agree with.
Yeah,
that's not true though, because if you disagree with a woman, you can't body shame her, or else you're a monster.
I think you can, for sure. Liberal, like, first off, unfunny liberals honestly suck harder than unfunny conservatives.
Oh, totally.
I really do believe that. Because like there's there's a guy on a thing on on like a show who's like, Trump in his tiny hands, and you're like, you are so unfunny.
Yeah.
You are so unfunny. You make me like Trump more than you.
Yeah.
That's how unfunny you are.
Yeah.
At least that guy's entertaining. Sometimes.
Was or is fucking dynamite.
I was saying the other day, I'm like, I wonder if he wasn't such a disaster, like, I wish people could see the hilarity. Like, he's actually genuinely kind of funny. If he was self-aware, like, it would actually be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
the most recent hilarious thing he did is there were stories circulating. Trump hasn't tweeted in 21 hours.
Yeah.
His first tweet following that story was, "Good morning, everybody. Have a great day." And you're like, this guy is operating on a different level.
This is what bothers me about the two. Like, shouldn't it be good news that the president didn't collude with Russia?
Yeah, it should
Like,
be.
everybody was so banking on him being a treasonous person who literally colluded with a foreign power to steal an election.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't it's good news that didn't happen? It's good news that although the Russians tried to influence the election, that they didn't do it with the help of the sitting president. That's actually good news. Everybody is so fucking angry, and they're like, must not be true. They're lying. They're holding it. I'm like, no, dude. You think Mueller didn't? If he found something, you would have known about it. Like, Mueller was like a fucking silent guy. And like, this is the thing too. Mueller was such a genius up until now when he didn't find anything. Now he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, everybody was like, oh, he's going to find something on this guy. And I get it. I hate him too. I think he's just a garbage person, and I don't like him. Trump anyway. But like, you have to admit that they didn't find anything. So what, like, he just,
Right.
what are you going to do? Like, he's president. Get over it.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There you go.
No, I'm like, if you watch the video of Rachel Maddow before the thing came out, she's like giddy.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh
she's
yeah.
like,
oh yeah.
The tape is coming out.
But this is
and then
something
she's
that-
almost on the verge of tears.
Oh my gosh. This is something that I feel that this Russia shit is a diet version of Pizzagate. It's not quite as insane as Pizzagate. It is liberals' version of Pizzagate. And that it certainly isn't as bonkers insane. There obviously are a little bit of connections, but it's this huge conspiracy, and they're conjuring up super sensationalist imagery of, like, you know, a Russian mobster in a trench coat, and they're in a
Yeah.
parking garage, and he's
Yeah.
handing a dossier to Eric Trump.
Yeah.
And Eric is like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
They've conjured those images up.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I don't know, but how many times have someone who's smart in media said media needs to have a reckoning in the last 3 years?
Yeah.
And how has that never happened? And this is arguably the most egregious one, because this was a 2-year story.
Yeah.
This stemmed from Hillary, or maybe not from Hillary, but she certainly was a proponent or purveyor of this narrative.
Listen, this guy's sitting next to Putin. He's going like, I think he's a great guy, and like. It looked really bad. The optics of it were terrible, and the FBI investigated. So to me, they had a reasonable suspicion to investigate. But when they go through an entire 2-year investigation by one of the most intense prosecutors ever, they don't find anything. That means it didn't happen. Because if it did happen, they would have
Well,
found
aren't
it.
there still some people who like Manafort or something?
Well,
like
because this
that?
is what's well, yeah. So there's a lot of criminals within his organization. Yeah, they laundered money. Yes, they did all those things that you would expect that Trump's people would do. Yeah, because Trump's a shady person. He deals with shady people. But he didn't do what it was accused of him. So it's like if you said, I think Donald Trump murdered somebody, and then you investigated him for murder, and you found out that he cheated on his taxes in '93. So, like, you're investigating him for murder. You're investigating him for being a traitor to the country. And he's dirty as fuck, of course, but he's always going to have plausible deniability because that's what people like him do. They have fall guys. They have people like the lawyer. They have people who like Manafort. They have them do the crimes, and then they have plausible deniability to be like, well, I didn't tell him to do that. And then it's he said, she said.
Where liberals get it, the dumb liberals get it so wrong is they don't have any empathy for conservative anger or anguish.
Yeah.
And so when you don't have any of that, and conservatives have no outlet literally in mainstream media to express their frustration.
Well, Fox News is all just
that's the one.
Yeah.
So they have one landing pad. And by the way, if you're a conservative and like it's a party. So like they're having a ball, like getting to commiserate together.
Yeah.
But I can just see people going off the rails when they have just nowhere. And mainstream media, time and time again, has blatant lies again. They've lied enough where Trump now has enough stuff like plausible deniability to go. He can just basically refute. Now he can refute actual facts by just saying that source sucks because they lied about this shit.
He just won 2020 because all he has to do is be like,
oh, really? Awesome.
Like literally all he has to do is be like, the deep state tried to take me down, but guess what? They didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then everybody's going to be like, you're right. They tried and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But the fallacy of that is like, if they were trying to take you down and Mueller was part of the deep state, he would have just fabricated it or something. You're like,
That's
you
true.
mean like they were trying to take you down on something that you didn't do, so they started an investigation, and then when there wasn't evidence that you did it, they're like, well, I guess we'll stop here. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's crazy because like I feel like it's Trump versus liberals, and it's like a boxing match where Trump has gotten into their head and they can't fight right.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's being a
Yeah.
technical
Dude,
fighter,
yeah.
and they're just like swinging wildly.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're completely losing.
Oh, and they are completely losing.
because they're just emotional about this. Like
Yeah.
you gotta be logical about this guy. Like you can't.
Well, it's also like if you don't just judge him by his actions,
Yeah.
and stick to issues. Don't fall for all the dumb shit he says because he does it on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he has little hands.
Yeah, and he's orange and he has a small penis. Ugh. By the way, I was uncomfortable by that statue of Trump when he was completely naked, how almost accurate that's how my body looks like. I was like, did someone watch me? And
It's not that small.
yeah, dick and all.
Some sculptors outside your window, like, oh.
I've joked with, I think you before, about anytime one of your female friends tells a story about a man with a small, hooking up with a man with a small penis, you're always relieved when she doesn't describe your dimensions. You're like, oh my God, it is tiny. Oh, thank God.
Anyway, I think we should wrap it up there. What do you guys think?
I think so.
All right, cool.
I think we should have 1 minute of bonus content offer Patreon. We should only offer 1 minute though. Like
Yeah.
you just get 60 seconds, but let's make it good shit.
Yeah, it's just
All this shit you heard before, you got to pay for the real shit.
Cool. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, should we have an actual closing, or is that how we close podcasts now?
Yeah, we can do that. Do you want to like shout out where you can find the people and stuff, or the people can find you?
I don't know, because it's our first one where I'm like, is that a good thing to do, or is it better to just be like, goodbye?
Well, I was thinking,
That felt a little too abrupt. We don't Irish exit podcast listeners.
Well, what I was thinking is that we would have the intro that we'll record after this, where we can plug stuff that we want to plug, and
That's true.
Oh, okay.
but there's some of us have foresight. Others are just like, well, you're just abruptly ending. Like they're listening to on the subway. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're gonna listen to Joe Rogan next. That's totally cool.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
hey guys, bye.
Bye.